Hello and welcome to qualifying for the Australian GP. It's all the drivers have just hit the line here, which is going to start their lap. And, well, it looks like Lando Norris has had a decent start. I can't believe an Alpine and the Alpines and the McLarens are both up in the top positions. But we finished the lap here. And let's see what we've got for the front runners this season. It looks like Alpine has been majorly sandbagging as they've put Esteban Ocon on pole position, followed by Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. No surprises there. McLaren looks strong with both Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo being a P3 and P5 respectively. Ricciardo at his home race getting a P5 behind his teammate. Will he be happy about that? I'm not sure. Fernando Alonso meanwhile is in P4. Pretty solid result for the Spaniard. And George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, in reverse amount of championship and success order, have got P7 and 8. Sergio Perez 6 and 7. Sergio Perez in 8th with his Red Bull, way behind his teammate, but he could easily make that up in the 29 laps we've got around this track. Valtteri Bottas and his Alfa Romeo has done pretty good, bagging a P9. If we're going off last season's performance, that is brilliant for the team. They've done some brilliant work. Same with AlphaTauri getting a P10 there. Carlos Sainz, meanwhile, for his Ferrari's got P11. Pretty solid result for the team. Sebastian Vettel on P12. It looks like Aston Martin have basically stayed static. Same Williams, meanwhile, have had a brilliant result. P13 for Albon. P14 for Latifi. He doesn't look too much off the pace of his teammate. Charles Leclerc 15th. Stroll 16th. 17th is Kevin Magnussen, Yuki Tsunoda in P18, then Zhou Guanyu and Mick Schumacher in the Haas in P19 and 20. Meanwhile, the lights are going out and it's go, go, go. And Lando Norris looks like he's got a decent start. Verstappen's been barged off the track meanwhile, and we'll go wheel to wheel with Lando Norris. The Alpine of Alonso's got through. Meanwhile, there's a massive battle for P2. Alonso looks like he's closing on his teammate. His teammate barges him off the track. Alonso nearly made the move there at the first Grand Prix of the season for the lead, but he didn't manage it. Brilliant racing from Verstappen and Lando Norris, who makes the position happen, who makes the move even. Norris, brilliant racing so far in this race, but Perez looks like he's dropped back a bit. Going off the track, Ricciardo slipped through. Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari made it up from P11 to P7 and has slid through as Perez goes slowly. As meanwhile, Pierre Gasly versus Sebastian Vettel barges him off the track with the stewards. Have a look at that or deem it a racing incident. As through goes Zhou Guanyu. Brilliant start from the Chinese driver. Valtteri Bottas, his teammate, meanwhile, is about to send it on Nicolas Latifi, and he does. Brilliant move from Bottas there. Sergio Perez versus Lewis Hamilton versus George Russell and Ricciardo, as Ricciardo barges off Russell and looks like he will make the move on his former teammate Max Verstappen to try and get a better position at home. Brilliant racing so far in this Grand Prix. Better than last season for sure. Brilliant new regulations for the FIA. As Ricciardo is slipstreaming Max Verstappen. Norris is sort of in a weird gap between his two Alpines, who are sent to get on each other. Alonso makes the move but gets barged off the track by Ocon before he can stick a wheel up the inside. Alonso does not look like he wants to get rid of that P1 position. He's been hunting these down for about a decade now as he sends it down the inside of Ocon. Ocon, meanwhile, is not going to let Alonso win. He won a race last season. He does not want Alonso to win the first race of this season. He wants to stamp his mark in the team and show he is the driver who will bring championship glory to this Alpine team. Meanwhile, we've got a nice scrap going on in the midfield. Charles Leclerc is about to have a wheel stuck up the inside by Pierre Gasly. Mick Schumacher goes off the track, Gasly gets through. It's all action all over the field here, as it looks like Gasly's going to get a run on Charles Leclerc. Can Gasly make the move? He sticks it up the outside, makes the pass. Brilliant racing from these two. Can Leclerc get a move down the next straight? I doubt it, but Bottas certainly could. Meanwhile, Nicholas Latifi versus Alexander Albon. Can Latifi make the position happen for him and Williams? No, Gasly can. No, he can't. He's passed off the track by Albon. Latifi sticks the wheel down the inside of Albon and makes the move for P11. Meanwhile, we're looking in the midfield, and it's Sergio Perez versus Lewis Hamilton, who has driven very well all this weekend. He's been just about trailing his teammate. He's driven even better. Meanwhile, the two, looks like a battle for the back markers here, as Norris is leading the Grand Prix. That midfield battle was too interesting to cut away from, so I barely noticed it. But now Ricciardo is. He has to pit though. Norris has got the fresher tyres. Will he get an overcut though? We've seen how powerful that was in 2021. Verstappen did that multiple times and pulled off some brilliant racing of Lewis Hamilton, who did the same multiple times on him. So we know the overcut can work wonders in these races, as Alonso is going to try and make up a position on Norris. Ricciardo is going to have to pit meanwhile pretty soon. Ocon's on the soft tyre. I doubt he can make it to the end on the soft tyre as Ricciardo comes into the pits. This is where it gets interesting. Ricciardo and Norris are both in the default race lead, maybe Ocon too. Norris has made the position, but Ricciardo's dropped back behind Alonso. He's made the position to take it into the lead from Norris, so we are not fighting over the genuine lead here. What's happened? Is Gasly retiring? I don't think so. I saw a move. But is this Leclerc and Alonso fighting on the same lap? Yes, Leclerc has made it past all the front runners here. No, he's not. He's getting lapped. I'm an idiot. As Zhou Guanyu and Mick Schumacher have a crash there, I think Zhou Guanyu just turned in on him. Rookie error. But Hamilton's just punted them both. That is not a rookie error. That is a, well, season driver error. As Perez versus Tsunoda. Tsunoda getting lapped. He couldn't really do anything since it's the Red Bull team and he's got the blue flags waving there. So they would have had a major meltdown on him. Meanwhile, what's happening for the lead? Ricciardo's got it at home. Ricciardo's leading his home Grand Prix here. And Fernando Alonso looks like he's going to try and pass Kevin Magnussen here. Alonso is not going to let Ricciardo win a happy home Grand Prix here, as he is going to be charging him down. The Ricciardo's on the soft tyre. Can he make it to the end? He possibly can. He possibly can. His durability is 9 to 12 laps. He could possibly, if he pushes it, actually make the position stick. No, he can't. He's on the softs. Though, I think all of the leading drivers actually need to pit again. Possibly not Ocon. Ocon has put himself into a brilliant position here as he fights against Lando Norris. He's going to be a bit vulnerable towards the end, but he could be an interesting spanner in the works of this lead battle, as he has just gone through and put himself on a reverse strategy to the rest of these drivers. Alonso's made his last tyre change for the hard tyre. He is going to make it to the end of the Grand Prix on this tyre now. 9 laps to go. I'm going to see how these strategies are playing out. I think Lando Norris is going to go for a last-minute charge on these hard tyres, as Zhou Guanyu has just come out of the pit lane for P18. And it looks like the midfield's actually worse for racing than the leaders are forwards, as Hamilton and Alonso both go off the track there. Perez could stick out the inside here. Hamilton, meanwhile, comes into the pit lane as Perez is about to stick a wheel round the outside of Alonso and makes the move. I don't think he can make it to the end of the race there though. He's only got 6 to 9 laps. Actually, he could. This could be Perez's final tyre here. I mean Verstappen, sorry, I meant idiot. As Norris is pitting for the softs, just like I guess, he's going for a last minute push. Which strategy is going to pay out? I've got my bets on either Norris or Ocon here. Ricciardo, meanwhile, is no longer in the lead. He's pitted though. I think it could actually be a Ricciardo victory. He's going to make it to the end of these soft tyres. He's going to have the pace. And he's actually in the lead now. Ocon looks like he's pitted. Ricciardo leads his home Grand Prix. And he doesn't need another change of tyres. He's got a massive gap of 2 seconds even. And that looks like we've genuinely got a Ricciardo victory at home. Who could have dreamt this up? Who could have wrote this? Ricciardo is leading comfortably at home in Australia for the first race of the season. Meanwhile, Tsunoda pits. And I hope this back marker does not hold up Ricciardo, because this will put a sour end on the Grand Prix. Sainz and Albon, meanwhile, are both holding up Sergio Perez, who's going to have to pit towards the end of this race. Lewis Hamilton sends it on George Russell. Down the inside he goes, but Russell barges him off the track there. How is our lead battle going? Ricciardo's still got a very comfortable lead. 3 laps to go. I'm not going to jinx it for him. I'm not going to say that he's got it in the bag, because Ocon has actually made up some time on him. But Ricciardo even could take the win. Lando Norris is somebody who's looking dangerous in the end phases of this race. Meanwhile, he is on the soft tyre and he looks like he's got the pace. He's been making up positions like haywire. He could at least end up on that podium and catch up Alonso, who's on the hard tyre. He most likely will in fact catch up Alonso, but there's only 1 lap left, and it's Ocon versus Ricciardo for the lead. Ocon's going to take the lead away from Ricciardo at home. Can Ricciardo send it? He makes the move. Can Ocon fight back here? As Ricciardo, if nothing else changes, will win at home, and he does. Ricciardo wins the Australian Grand Prix. He wins at home for the first race of this season. Brilliant racing from the Australian, and a brilliant home Grand Prix victory. Meanwhile, Norris took home P4, Verstappen P5, and Lewis Hamilton, I think, just couldn't pass George Russell at the end here. What a whopper of a race we have had to start off this season. And now we're looking at the results. Ignore the points as we're doing the conventional F1 points. It's a McLaren 1-4 here. Who could have thought it? With Ricciardo P1 at home. Esteban Ocon, I think, got the fastest lap here by 0.4 of a second. Meanwhile, getting P2 and P3 for the Alpine team, with Alonso getting P3 with being 3 seconds off his teammate. Though I doubt he'll mind when the team is doing so well. Lando Norris won't be disappointed as he was massively behind his teammate, actually in front of his teammate at the start, who will be disappointed. Max Verstappen, he's had a bit of a haywire race. He's had some great moments and bad moments, but Red Bull sandwiched the Mercedes team. Let's see if that Hamilton-Verstappen rivalry will continue this season, as George Russell, Lewis Hamilton have both got sandwiched between the Red Bull and Mercedes sandwich here, with Red Bull as the bread. Carlos Sainz has led that midfield. It's definitely a midfield with the gap that they've got 21 seconds behind the lead. Then we've got 25 seconds behind the lead for Sebastian Vettel, and both Carlos Sainz and Sebastian Vettel have driven brilliantly. Pierre Gasly's had a quiet race, but brilliant, nearly getting points sprung home. Alexander Albon got P12, followed by Valtteri Bottas at P13, who's majorly outperformed his teammate, doing pretty brilliantly, and working magic in that Alfa Romeo. Actually, it may use this point system as it's better. Nicholas Latifi, meanwhile, P14, P15, Yuki Tsunoda, Charles Leclerc, P16, followed by Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, who have all been majorly off the pace. Anyway, that was a brilliant first round to the Fantasy F1 World Championship. Thank you for watching, and let's see what will happen next round in this 2022 season, where we're going to be in Valencia, Spain. Anyway, goodbye and see you in the next one.